All right. Well, it is 8:02. It is Wednesday morning. The sun is out, which is quite a contrast to yesterday. I don't know if anybody else saw the lightning and the thunder, but we did. We had like two serious flashes yesterday.
Last night or
No, yesterday. You were on the phone, so you probably didn't hear it.
crazy.
Aaron
Or you assumed it was
focused.
just me knocking something over in the
Maybe
office.
Jared did tell me about it. He was coming down.
Aaron was hyper focused yesterday. A lot going on.
Alrighty.
All right. Welcome to the bid room. Today is the 18th. We've got 10 more days in February to make all the magic happen. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. Our mission, 100 contractors to 10 million in annual revenue by 2035. Estimating stats. We broke 5 million last week. We have 13 estimates out the door that we are tracking and following up on. Let's see. Questions and answers with Sean B. What would justify investing in the right team versus the lowest number? Well, cheap is not always best. I think most of us have found over time that when you buy things that are cheap, you get cheap things. So that said, it's economics are economics. So if you are not the lowest price point, you need to be able to demonstrate why you are still the best choice for the job. So get to know your client, get to know their actual needs, find out what is important to them, what's the most important thing to them. A lot of owners and builders, it's time. These guys have large carrying costs on projects. Some projects could be $10,000 a day that it costs them just to keep the project moving. So as you start to look at days saved or just days not lost, those costs add up, and those can become a lot more valuable than just a cheap number off the start. So go out, build a name for yourself as somebody who gets the job done when you say it'll be done, and quick to develop strategies if things are slipping. Come up with solutions. Don't be a problem pointer outer. Be a problem solver. We've got lots of people in the world pointing out problems, not a lot of people solving. So our estimating schedule is getting very full. So I wanted to share what we've got coming up the rest of the month. So if you guys are interested in any of these projects, you can get a hold of Sandy at southbaygrading.com and get on the bid list for these projects. We've got El Dorado Hills, which is a bit of a rebid, Sierra Elementary School, campus at Bayside, Bonnie Lane, Alexander Place, Phase 2, Mr. Car Wash, Benihana and Emeryville. That sounds like fun. And Las Palmas. So the top three here, El Dorado, Sierra, and Campus, those are probably looking at about $10 million worth of work just in those three jobs. Then we've got some smaller ones down here. So the reason I wanted to share this with you guys today is just that, the schedule is starting to pack. We're starting to see more projects every week coming out to bid. So the activity in the market is picking up. So we're excited. We are doing our best to line ourselves up on the best projects that fit our goals and with the best owners. And we're excited to see what we can accomplish this year. Oh, and we just invested in ag tech, so we are now doing our ag tech takeoffs in-house. UC Davis, the Equine Center. Well, this job was all dried out a week ago. And we were talking about getting started there first part of March. So we will see how the weather treats that project, and more importantly, how the general contractor treats the project now that it's wet again. If they decide to go through there like they did in the middle and drive through the mud and create 18-inch deep ruts, then it'll take that much longer for that project to be ready. So it's important when working through the winter to plan your moves. There's probably 6 different ways to get material, excuse me, into the site. Driving through the mud with a great all is not always the best choice. Green Valley. We got our curb ramps poured. What was that, last week or the week before? I forgot. They go by so fast.
February 2nd.
So we got the concrete poured and we got the patch paving done. This project is for us pretty much on hold until the underground contractor finishes his sewer tie-ins and the on-site structural concrete guy gets some footings poured. So that is where we're at with Green Valley. And now that it rained again, who knows? Probably should go up there at some point and put eyes on it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about follow-up today. As you guys know, we talk a lot about the Grant Cardone School of Sales and Marketing, and this applies to every aspect of life, not just selling products. Follow-up is super important, and just really to break it down, it's follow-up's just a relentless attack via phone, text, email, video, whatever it takes. Every time you touch them, it adds value, it applies pressure, and keeps you on top of their mind. Typically, what you're going to see is your competition is folding, making excuses, and losing. So fortune favors the obsessed. You want to be unreasonable, be persistent, and you want to dominate their inbox and their brain. Some of the most important things to remember with follow-up, statistically, 80% of all sales happen between the 5th and the 12th contact. So, I mean, you can apply this to following up on proposals that you submitted. You may not get an answer out of them. They may just shrug you off the first couple times, but when you're constantly following up with them, you're going to make headway and they're going to give you more information. Let's see here. What else have we got? Part of the process with when you're following up is to be gathering information and trying to understand what their motivations are, and really develop what do we call it? The fact finding. Yeah, the fact finding process to really understand what your prospect, what the GC, what the owner, whoever it may be, what drives them. If you can understand that, then you'll know how to move them forward. So that's, I don't know, Sean, you got anything else on follow-up? That's kind of what I was thinking about today, because we've been doing a lot of follow-up work with our 10X coach over the past couple of weeks, and it's present on my mind right now.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, how many people have ever been told that if you call more than 3 times, you're bugging somebody? So I don't know where that number came from, but it seems to be pretty consistent all across the board. And the truth is, as Aaron said, that 80% of all sales in Grant's world come from the 5th to the 13th contact, which means everybody that quits after 3, you're out of the game 80% of the time. It's only 2% of sales ever happen on the first contact. So It's pretty much somehow as a society, we've all decided that like, okay, well, we can't call anybody more than 3 times when we're bugging them. Could be true. You could be bugging them, but the biggest reason for not calling is because you have not been sold on yourself. If you truly believe that your service is important, valuable, then you will do whatever it takes to make that contact and get that person serviced, right? Because you're there to help them. It's not just about you, it's about them. So we have been developing multiple strategies about how to follow up, right? And how to get attention, because that's a lot of what follow-up is. It's just, hey, don't forget about me, I'm here. So, text, email, video messages, you can follow people up on Instagram, LinkedIn, all YouTube. I mean, the other thing is to speak to them and who they are, right? So if you know something about them, leverage that. If you know a guy likes Formula One racing, send him something that's connected to something that he likes, so that he actually takes the time to look at it, and it shows that you were paying attention, right? You knew that was something that they enjoyed. So don't give up just because somebody doesn't call you back or ghost you, as they say. Just stay relevant and be creative.
One super important thing I think everyone should be doing is if you make a phone call to someone, make sure that you program that number in your phone so that when they call you back, you know who it is, and you can answer and say, hey, Jim, how's it going? I think that's a really powerful thing. And when I program a number in my phone, if I have their email, I put their email in, and then you don't have to worry about it. You've got them in there, and you know when they're calling. And when it's going to come up at some point, you might be driving, and you might have to tell Siri to call that person. You won't have to pull over to go look in your email to call them. You can make the call. It's saved me a lot of key stops or breaks in concentration to just have the number programmed once I've made the first call. Or even when I get an email from someone, first thing I do is program numbers in my phone and emails.
Data mining.
Yeah, data mining.
Yeah, if they got a cell phone number on their email signature, that goes in your phone.
And
right
then
now.
I text them my contact card. That counts as a follow-up. That's one right there. So you call them, then you text them your contact. That's one out of the 5 to get to the 5 to 12.
Yeah, guys, gotta keep at it. So I want to thank my team for always following up. We follow up on contracts, we follow up on customers, we follow up on clients that we've already serviced. We're always looking for ways to stay relevant.
People that owe us money, we're always following up on that.
Yes. Let's see, Neighborhood Hands this Saturday, 7:30 a.m. Depending on the weather, it could be a shortened program, but there will be a program regardless of weather. So if you'd like to find out more, you can contact us here or go to neighborhoodhands.org and get to know a little more about the program. These guys are out there every other Saturday, and we are up to about a 300-person group every other Saturday. So it's pretty exciting. A lot of people getting serviced. There's connections being made. People have gone from living in tents to living in homes and working full time, thanks to the efforts of the people that come to this program every other week. So thank you, Marie, for helping that happen. Let's see. So we've been reading Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights, and you have to leave who you were to become who you will be.
True.
Yeah.
Let that sink in for a while, right? How much of us cling to the past and it becomes an obstacle for getting to your future?
I think Grant talks about this in a different way. He says if you want to change something, you have to give up something. Like if you want to get how does he say it? It says if you want to get, say, better at something, you're gonna have to give something else up. Like you may have to watch Netflix for 1 hour less per day to go to the gym for 1 hour per day. Think about that. Doesn't sound so hard, but it is pretty hard to do. But 1 hour less of Netflix, you could be doing push-ups or something, and it would probably change your life. But you'd have to give up that one episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That is-
Yeah. Another thing he says is that your assets will become liabilities and your liabilities will become assets.
Yeah.
So something that services you today may not service you tomorrow. And things that at one time brought you value in life then can rob value from your life. So we're constantly evolving as people, right? Or we're stuck and we're flat. And being stuck and flat is not going to get you to the level of success that you deserve.
I heard something this week about, obviously not about dirty dishes, but you will always have dirty dishes. If life is happening, like you will always have something to figure out. If you want to go to the gym, that will cost you. I know, but for me as a girl, if I go to the gym every day, I want to wash my hair every day. So that's going to be extra work, but it's the cost of going to the gym. Or I will also have more laundry to do because it's the cost of going to the gym. Everything. There's always going to be dishes to wash if you're actually living life.
Yeah, because that hour, if you're actually going to the gym and you think about it, that 1 hour at the gym, you could be driving 15 minutes each way. So it's a half hour of driving time and then the extra laundry time. So you're really committing more, and you may be wanting to make a little prep a meal before or whatever. And it's that time. So you're probably committing more like 3 hours a day. So you're definitely giving up some stuff,
Exactly.
So you got to tie it to a goal.
Got to tie it to a goal.
Because if you don't have a goal, then it's just extra work.
You're going to feel like it's extra work because you don't have a perspective on it. So it's always going to feel extra for you.
What does Martella talk about pairing, where you pair activities together?
Something stacking, right?
So, habit stacking.
Habit stacking.
Yeah. For me, it makes it easier when I'm listening to one of our books and I'm doing some of these things. Makes it way easier to do. Like, oh yeah, I can listen to McConaughey talk while doing this.
Then
the laundry doesn't seem so bad.
Nice. Thanks, Sandy. Collaboration is the new currency. That is how we get where we are going. We had I should just say it. I had a vision about 3 years ago about that, my legacy will be how I was able to connect opportunities and people together to go out and build bigger things than we could build all by ourselves. I had a choice. I could just build a business called South Bay Grading and be like every other excavation and grading contractor, or we could go out and build something much bigger with the people that want to be a part of our network. And so that's why we do what we do here. It's because I want something that's bigger than we are at the end of the day. So thanks for everybody showing up. Ooh, green lights. We are probably halfway through this book, I think. So every Wednesday, 8:45, we spend a little time talking about the book. So if you are interested in getting in on our book club, just get a hold of Sandy and she will get you on the invite. And I don't read books, just so we're clear. I would listen to books. So if you are like me and you don't want to sit down and flip through pages, especially guys like Abel who spend a lot of time on the road, I got Audible a couple of years ago, and if I'm in my truck, I'm generally listening to some book on tape, as us old people would say.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I use Apple Books, and I don't know if Audible interacts with Siri, but Siri, I could say, "Hey Siri, continue audiobook," and she just plays my book, which I really like. This book is super entertaining. You may not think, oh yeah, it's McConaughey, whatever, but you get to hear him narrate it, and it's not like listening to a book. It's just the time flies by while you're listening to him talk. It's super entertaining.
Yeah, he's a good storyteller.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
figure. All right. The only way that you fail in life is to quit. So whatever you do not quit. You just keep pushing. You will find adversity. That's what happens as you grow. You will run into the walls and the ceilings and the naysayers and the doubters. But don't let that hold you back. You will make mistakes. You will have trials and tribulations, but you just keep pushing. Get up every day and keep moving forward. If it was easy, then the whole world would be successful, right? So a lot of people quit. A lot of people make excuses, but I don't think anybody in this group's doing that. So let's go kill it. And that is a beautiful shot by
Where is it?
Stephen Hosmer.
The Wharf, Santa Cruz.
I love this picture.
The Wolf. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you for jumping in today. And before we wrap, does anybody have anything they want to share or speak on?
Or promote.
Promote. Juliana, thank you for joining us today. All right, guys. As always, dominate in all you do.
You say?